Welcome back to World of Walker, where we talk about walkers and all things Ark of War. I am Deranged 87, and boy, do we got a show for you today. So jumping into it. First off, again, I want to say a huge shout out to the Discord community. If you don't know what Discord is, as we go through, and if you're a new player and you're getting in and you're going, okay, what this game is broken down to formulas, to information, to troop stats, and a lot of those stats you can't see until you've unlocked them. So you can kind of see the name, but you can't really, see. So like, let's go for infantry since I don't have them unlocked. It'll say, hey, do you want to unlock it? But you can't open it up. It won't let you see the stats until you've actually unlocked it. And so just going through it, here's the entire Walker lineup. We have Yetis, Spiders, Shredders, XTRs, Manus, Rhinos, Bastions, Champion and Demon. I didn't unlock T8. If you're planning on going T9, don't touch T8. They're expensive. It's a lot of wasted resources. All of your lower class, your legacy walkers, you're not going to be able to upgrade to advanced walkers without taking a huge financial hit. It's just cheaper to go ahead and make brand new T9 walkers. So you can do the Guy or the Ray, go up to Plane Walkers, then Void Skaters. And we're going to talk a lot in this series about base stats, about research stats. You have your basic max research, and then you've got your advanced max research. So here you'll see kind of your base stats here. Capacity is 300, but it's 2 units. Basically, it's 2 units. So if you have, one Yeti is, or one Ranger's worth 2 Yetis, you can look at your leadership. If you've got 100,000 leadership, you're going to have 200,000 Yetis. So that's probably the best way to think about it. My math correct there? Or would it be 50,000? It would be 50,000. Okay. The Discord community, you can go check it out. Diplomacy of War. You'll see right over here on the screen. That's headed up by Kryler and Ridiculous Badger. You got Blackbird as a moderator. Lots of contributors, but they've really put the game together, and you'll see the same stats that we were just looking at there. You'll see them right here on the side. So if we wanted to know how much is a Bastion Walker? Well, it's a tier 7 right here. It's got 50 units. Tells you the capacity, HP, attack, defense, crit, accuracy on the base stats. So you can go through, and we're talking about formulas. This is what we're talking about. So let's go ahead and get out of here. There we go. There you have it. Yeah. So we're also, God, these are so expensive to make. Look at that. Yeah. This game gets more and more expensive the further you get into it. So, I mean, there's 3 different types of players. I like to say that there are free-to-play. There are, actually I would say 4 types of players. You have your free-to-play, you've got your budget spenders, you've got your spenders, and then you've got your mega spenders. Mega spenders, you want to take a look at mega spenders? Hold on, I'll show you the mega spenders right now. Check this out. Go to Peak Contest. If you're in the senior division, you get to see everybody that's already finished. If they've already finished and we're, not even a week into it on the rankings, these right here, these are your guys right here. Odad, 66, Gan, Hope, Hot Wheels, Bingo. These are the guys. These are the guys that have 3-4 mega commanders. They've got full leadership. They've got 50 gear, level 50 gear, which is just insane to be able to push, especially for all their commanders, every single piece. Yeah, those are the guys. So, there's so many different dynamics that you have to kind of play with when you're looking at, okay, what walker am I going to go with? And here's what I will say, is that you can have a lot of fun with tier suppression from T7 to T3, from T5 to T1. You can go back and forth and play with that with your Black Knight, with your different hulls. They're just, man, they're a ton of fun. For the hulls, if you don't know what I'm talking about, right here it says arc hull. I've got a lot of these that are maxed out. Let me get down to the ones. This is the next one I got to max out. This is going to be a hull that I will use with full metal. I have the Dominion. You'll see the different stats there. You can go back through, check these out later. When the Christmas event comes around, this is a must-have hull that I mean, there's no way around it. You got to have the holiday sleigh. Hospital capacity is at plus 400, and that's just at level 1. I mean, that's just what it comes with. So make sure that you prepare for that if you're starting this game. Diablo, Gabriel, Dawn. So yeah, so the tier suppression is going to be the Diablo hull. Total tier suppression is 6. So you get 10 from a half set Libra. You'll get, I don't know, another 12% from a Black Knight at level 30. So yeah, right there you're already pushing 20%. So that's 20% damage reduction as you go down in tier suppression. There are a few commanders that have anti-tier suppression skill. Ghost cannon on Bullet would be the first one that comes to mind, which is Annihilator Ray, and then Maruko also has his sneak attack. Yeah, and I feel like Takeda has one too. Does Blader? Maybe. Anyways, we can check that out later. Here's the cool part about it, is that, where is Blader? There we go. Blader's first skill is Pounce, and that is, yes, that is an ignore tier suppression skill. I was right. So, if you have tier suppression gear, you get the tier suppression bonus damage reduction. If you have strength and weaken gear, that's the SWE gear. That's can also zero out the damage if you get it to a certain level. Against most troops, there are a few exceptions. We're going to do an entire different video on that. Right now we're talking about if you want to start out as a Walker Commander, what do you do? Where do you go? You've got 15,000 leadership. You've got some of your basic gear. You know, you're looking at what gear do I put on it? So where do I go? What do I do? Well, the first commander that you're probably going to be able to get is Galileo. Galileo has his skills Plunder, which he's able to recover some of his HP through his attack. You want to put attack gear on him because that's how he's going to be able to get his hit. But he has to, I believe he has to land it. Yeah, because it's damage dealt through this attack. And then Instinct, till it activates next attack, all of our troops' attack and accuracy increased by 1%. So he has some accuracy increasers, but you want to be able to put some accuracy gear on him, some attack gear, a little bit of survivability. He's a fun commander to start out with. There's no doubt about it. Eventually, you're going to want to jump over to, if you can, get a Hoodoo. He is really fun to main early on, all the way up through T7, T9. What I love about it is that you can get some pretty good hits from Hoodoo. We're going to show some replays next episode. I've got some. I just need to be able to link them up, throw them over to Discord so we can pull them up here. And then, by far, in my opinion, the best starter commander, and everybody should have one of these in their repertoire, is Medusa. Medusa's skill, first one is the 20% skill at full metal. What you're looking at here is chance to trigger before next action. This attack will hit and damage will be increased by. So that's a huge, whatever your damage was, you just increase it by an extra percentage. And then sonar. So the cool part about this is not only is the first hit a guaranteed hit, but the second hit is a 40% chance to trigger, and it's guaranteed hit for 6 slots, which means that once you start triggering it, you're going to continually trigger it. It's 6 guaranteed hit slots, and you're going to trigger it again, which give you, so there's overlap. She'll never miss. So just build her with some damage, with some accuracy, throw some SWE gear on her. Really fun to go up against you know, a lot of these infantry mains. When you've got the SWE gear on, if you're not having to worry about T12 on your server, you're not fighting T12 commanders, then yeah, then your SWE should work the way that you think it should work. Basically, you get it enough. It's like 520 will outdo the 87% APOC hull that most people have. They have no extra resistance weakened gear or gems. So that's kind of what you're looking for. I think it's like 5 something. 520, 518, I don't know. Again, you can go to Discord. You can get on the line communities. There will be videos that are already out there explaining a lot of this. But yeah, if you're early on, start getting some SWE gear, mixing it in. There's some great hulls that you can jump on. But what I love about Medusa, you go over here, she's a B-class commander. It's really cheap to get her Awakening going, and you're not going to get a better return on investment than Awakening. You know, the defense or the dodge or the crit wither or the resistance weaken effect. So play around with your gear. Remember that you can build your gear missing one of these attributes and then just keep this attribute ever awakened. So just don't put any defense on there and build her with all defense and her Awakening. Or don't put any resistance weaken effect in there and be able to keep her fully resistance weakened effect. Remember what we talked about a couple episodes ago where we were talking about the crit and the crit wither? You can have up to 600% crit wither. Basically, your enemy's attack is cut in half all the time. So play around with that, enjoy that. Some of the natural counters to Vega, because as a Walker commander, that's the thing that you're really going to be up against. You're going to be up against Stellas, you're going to be up against Vegas. Obviously Rogers, but that's a different topic. Vega, the biggest way to cut down on Vega is to cut the attack, is to increase your own defense, cut down Vega's attack, and cut down Vega's crit. If you cut those, then Breakdown's not going to hit as hard. And then obviously damage reduction on the back end. Focus on HP. But here's the thing, is that minus 60% on defense, if you've got 1,000 defense, then 60%, you would still have 400 at the end of it. So you could awaken 600 defense, and if you've got another 400 in your gear, then you're still able to keep 400% defense. That's a lot of defense, and it doesn't let Vega's attack go that far. So play around with it. Try it on your server. Check it out. That's fun. As you start getting past T7, and again, like I said, is just skip T8 unless you're just not planning on spending here. I would skip T8, go straight to T9. Once you get into T9, and I'll pull this up for you, T9, T10, you have what's called dual class. And you'll see I have the Walker up here, that's the blue, with an infantry on the subclass here. And this is really unique because now you're getting into different commanders that have skills that you can utilize with different troop class. So I can take a Walker troop and now put it on an infantry commander. One of the hardest things about Walkers is you don't really have a defense commander besides Elf. But besides that, you don't really have a defense commander. So, having that double awakening or being able to take, because you'll see here that 9 and 10 are both Walker and infantry. The stat jump from 9 to 10, let's take a look at that just so you get an idea. You got 1,000 or 10,000 on the HP here, 940 on the attack. You go over to Ray and you've got 15,000 and then on the HP and 1,200 on the attack. So it's a substantial increase per unit on the attack and HP, defense as well. Those stats really do matter. So as you start getting into T11, you'll notice that the subclass, you have your main class as Walker, but your subclass goes to air. And so now you really open up every air commander out there. I could use T11 Walkers with Vega or with Rogers. And I do. I actually utilize Rogers quite a bit. I will, I'll build like a T11 dodge build. And if I can get, 2 hits into it to where I dodge the first hit and then the second hit, I've already got 30% damage reduction. And it doesn't kill the full slot. All of a sudden, by the third hit, I'm, 30, 60, 90 or whatever, whatever. I'm into the damage reduction on Rogers to a point that I could survive it. And so it's kind of cool to be able to use Rogers for a defense commander at T11. Let's see what those stats are. Yeah, so 30%, and it can be overlaid. But at 9, 10, at 9 and 10, there's a couple of commanders, and I've got a few of them here lined up. Plasma. Now I love this because 1.5% HP of the troops before being killed. The HP of the troops, walkers have higher HP research stats. They do. And so T10 walkers with plasma, I was using that for a while. You want to be able to put a lot of attack on them if you're going to do that, to be able to balance out the HP and the attack. But you do get a lot of natural HP from walkers to where you can actually use more damage gear with plasma when you're doing your builds. You basically just want to build him as a bomb. You know, that's what you want to do if you're using walkers. He's a lot of fun. Number 2, you've got the X or Stella, whichever one that you want to use. And you'll see that I've got some penetration gear that I've been playing around with. I'm trying to add Sagittarius and Leo, and if you can combine those 2 hits in one hit, you've got 60% reduction in defense. If you can add another 40% of penetration from your hull and from 2 wild roses, well then at that point you've got 100% defense ignore. At the same time, if you hit Sagittarius, that 60% HP ignore, it's a powerful hit. And so that's kind of the idea behind this build here. Very defensive commander build. And then the hardest hitting commander in the game, period. And I will dispute anybody on this. I'm going to get you some replays, get you some videos on this. Nekojiro, hands down, is the best commander in the game, pound for pound, if he gets the right triggers. So what I mean by that is sniper. If you can get this skill up to just even 40%, and then you trigger Sagittarius and Leo, you've got 100% damage reduction, or 100% defense ignore, and 100% HP ignore. So you take whatever attack you've got, and you just divide that by the base HP. You multiply it times 2, and then you divide it by the base HP, because that's what you're going off of. There's no added defense. There's, you know, it's divided by the defense. That's the base defense, and then that's divided by the base HP. This is insane if you watch it. Yeah, I'll have to get you guys some replays. There's some pretty good replays out there. Yeah. So again, the whole point is that at T9, T10, T11, you can kind of cross over some of your commanders if you know that you're going to go T12, or if you're going T11 on a certain path. You can use a commander for a short period of time. You don't have to stick with that commander. Just kind of gives you some ideas to throw out there. Outside of that, I do know from support that just like Vega's breakdown, if you combine it with a Leo trigger, the sniper trigger combined with the Leo trigger, so the 60% ignore defense added with another 60% more defense, that's 120. That extra 20% goes into extra bonus damage. So yeah, that's a thing. Outside of that, that's really all I got for today. I want to kind of give you guys just some ideas on how to start, where to start. Put in the comments below. Remember, like, subscribe. Let's get this thing rolling. But I'd like to kind of hear some feedback. You know, what kind of questions do we have with our gems? You know, what gems we could use? What are some gear setups? I want to know creatively. What do you think you might be able to come up with? Start looking at the commander skills, go through them, then start thinking about the gem skills, and then think about, man, what you can combine to maybe create that one niche that nobody's thought about. That's what this game is about. This game is about what hasn't somebody thought about, and I promise you there's more out there every day. There's more stuff that comes out. There's more gear, little niches. So yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys. All right, well, man, I'll see you on the battlefield.